Hello YouTubers and welcome to another video. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about a very tiny pair of mono amps called the Fosi Audio V3 Mono. So, bit of background, ever since I got my monitor audio RX1 speakers from downstairs upstairs, seeing that I wasn't listening to much music downstairs, I've been on the hunt for an amp that could power the speakers and deliver like beautiful sound and beautiful music. So I got these monitor audio RX1s like over 10 years ago, and I had them paired to a Marantz CR502 all-in-one device, which was great, which was good but not great. So when I brought everything upstairs, I started looking for an amp. So an amp that I got the AUN S17 headphone amp, but that doesn't power speakers, so I needed a power amp. So I started looking in the market and I ended up buying an Audiolab 6000A. Really good reviews, really affordable price. So I got it, and by and large I'm very happy with it. But it's rather bulky and big, so I was thinking maybe this would be better suited for downstairs. And then I started noticing that there is all this small amp market coming up now, and that this brand called Fosi is really one of the big players in that market. So I got the Fosi ZA3 a couple of weeks ago. Really outstanding reviews and things, but then when I plugged it in, I wasn't really impressed. So in the meantime, I ordered these because they deliver more powerful. It's like a mono setup, so you have to have two, one for each speaker, and they are more powerful than the stereo ZA3 version. And there's also a V3 stereo version, but these are pure mono amps. And if you go into the literature, having mono amps is actually a good thing for the purpose of signal management and interference and all this kind of stuff. So one of the things that I like about this is just the form factor. You know, they're really tiny, so if you have a desk, then that's probably a good thing, because, you know, I'm going to show you my setup here. Just briefly, I'm going to try and do this. So that's the monitor audio RX1s, which I got over 10 years ago, and I still love them to bits. That's the Audiolab 6000A, the Chord Mojo on top. So the Chord Mojo is the DAC I use. There's a couple of topping devices there that I don't really use anymore. And then there's the AUN S17 Class A amp, which I'm absolutely in love with, and the other monitor audio RX1 speaker there. So this is my setup, so just a little bit of perspective there. It's quite a small room, so I thought that, you know, having a small amp would probably be better than having this bulky kind of a 6000A Audiolab situation here. So I'll talk a little bit about the build. The build is fantastic. It looks really nice. I really like the contrast with the orange and the vents here. We've got vents on the side here. It feels that all the switches feel really nice. So you've got your RCA input, XLR input, which I was really excited about because the AUN has got is a headphone amplifier, but it can work as a preamp, and it's got XLR outputs. Although I haven't tried this feature, I still gotta get the cables. Then you got your speaker outputs here, and your power supply goes in there. Then you got the gain button, 25 or 31 dB, but I never had to put this on the maximum gain because they got more than enough power for my monitor audio RX1 speakers. So in terms of construction, really happy with this. I got them with separate. So I got two power supplies and they're both 48 volts, and I think that's probably the best setup possible. I also got the discount on Amazon, so I got them quite cheap for like 230 euros. Cheap in the headphone world, I mean. Or in the amp world. So I was really happy with that. And yeah, they do get hot though, you know, and I don't understand how can they get so hot. They get hotter, it seems, than the AUN S17, which is the Class A amp. It's a Class D amp, so my idea is that they were quite energy efficient. But for some reason, this gets so hot that if you hold them, when they're working, and it's not even on maximum gain, you will struggle to hold them in your hand because that's how hot they get. And I don't really understand. Maybe you got some idea. Maybe you can make a comment about why that would be. So in terms of my impressions, sound-wise, so my first reaction when I plugged this in and I turned the sound on was like, wow, absolute wow. I was like shocked just how good and powerful these things are. I was really, really shocked. It was like one of those revelation moments, like especially the bass. The bass sounded tight and controlled and deep. I thought the subwoofer was on. I'm fooling around with the subwoofer at the moment, but no, it's just that these can drive the monitor audio speakers really well, and so you can feel the slam in the bass. So I was really shocked, and then the detail is very present. So everything, you can hear everything. Everything's crisp and clear, and it's got dynamics and punch. So really, really impressed. So at that moment I was like, wow, wow. Okay, so this is going to be my desktop amp arrangement. So I was really, taken aback, but just how good this sounded initially. But then I started listening to music a bit more and swapping back and forwards between the Audiolab 6000A and these. And I got to the conclusion that there's two things that put me off about these. And the first thing is just the smoothness. They are not very smooth, right? So whereas the Audiolab is like a treat to your ears, with these there's a lack of smoothness there. And a lot of times, you think detail and smoothness are like opposites, but not always. If you really have a really good amp, it can give you the detail but without any harshness. So what I was finding is that with the Fosi Audio V3 monos, I was enjoying the music, technically really good and punchy, as I just said. But then at some point I would have to kind of turn the volume down because I was getting fatigued, right? So that's point number one. And the point number two that I felt these were missing is, the soundstage aspect of it. And I know I'm comparing it to the Audiolab 6000A, and the Audiolab is like known for like a wide soundstage and all this kind of stuff. But there's no turning away from the fact that when you put these two together, the Audiolab, is opens up the sound. So you can hear music here, music there. The mids on the are much more meatier on the Audiolab than they are here. And that might all be perceived as like less detail, because these your perception tells you these are super detailed. But with the Audiolab, you kind of have to hunt for that detail, and it's there. And once your brain gets used to it, yeah, nice. It's just like delicious music, right? And I cannot say the same about these. It might be your cup of tea, or you might have some speakers which are not as resolving as the monitor audios. Maybe these will be a better solution for you, because if you have speakers which are not very smooth or not very resolving, then maybe this can make it up, if you know what I mean. So it might be a matter of pairing, because I do think these are very competent amps, but not to me. One way that I managed to sort of curb a little bit of that fatigue and open the soundstage a little bit was to use the Aoun S17 as a preamp. Instead of going directly from the module into here, use the headphone amp, which is a Class A, beautiful smooth sound, and feed that signal into here. And yeah, sure enough, it becomes a little bit smoother, it becomes a little bit more open, the sound, but still not at the level of the Audiolab 6000A. So I'm really loving the Audiolab 6000A. So I'm pitching this against a very, very big amp. But of course, you know, it's what I got. It's what I got for you. So it's worth what it's worth. The Audiolab is a little bit more expensive, maybe twice the price of what this would cost. But so if you're on a budget and you want to save space, I think you can't go wrong with this, guys. You know, you really can't go wrong. This is amazing, punching, dynamic sound. Just beware that there might not be the smoothest. It might not be the smoothest sound depending on how you pair it, whether you go to preamp or not preamp, depending on your tag, depending on all sorts of things, your speakers. You know, so my advice would be just, you know, try them out in your setup. But in terms of raw ability, I was really impressed with the Fosi Audio V3 monos. Really, really happy. But I am in love with the Audiolab sound, and I do miss that expense of the soundstage and the little nuance and stuff. I really like that. So I'm actually ordering the Audiolab 8300A, which is a pure analog amplifier, dual mono, so it does the job of this. So it's got two separate amps in one, although it's in the same box. No digital inputs, just pure analog. So because I want to see if this Audiolab sound scales up to you know, an even better experience. So I'll let you know once I get the comparison done. But for now, I love these, but they are not going to be part of my audio setup for now. But they might be part of your audio setup. So really love them. Thank you, Fosi, for coming up with such a nice product at such an affordable price. I also hear that Fosi engages a lot with the community and they listen to people. So well done, Fosi. Well done. This is really, really a nice product. Thank you. Keep working on it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this opinion/review. Thank you to my subscribers. Sometimes I get pings that I've got a new subscriber, so the numbers are going up. Thank you very much. And you know, comment whatever you want to comment. I will make sure that you know, I say hello to you as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.